Have you been watching Tua Tagovailoa's post-game press conferences where he basically is like, yeah, I'm getting paid, deal with it. By the way, how's the team? Nobody shows up to meetings, players-only meetings, people skip out. Nobody cares around here, and we lost again. Tua threw 3 interceptions. Yes, he's part of the problem. James Franklin got fired from Penn State, we'll talk about later. When is McDaniels getting shown the door? This team is ridiculous, Joe.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Tell the coordinators what you want. I just don't get it. I don't. These coaches are so chummy with each other that they don't want to throw their guy under the bus. You're getting paid the $10 million. He's not. Take a rein and change the game plan. Right. If it's not working and the offensive coordinator is not getting it done, you need to have input.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
You love this segment. You nicknamed this segment. You sort of put your mark on it with the rats with the cash.
There's rats.
Right? And they're the garbage games. One of the games.
What are you saying, rats hang out in garbage? What's wrong with
they do. Hang out in New York City. You'll see it.
A lot of rats in New York City. That's the way it is, man. Hey, we don't want to throw any names out there. Exactly.
Philly, too. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You may be surprised, because I am, that the athlete in the world who has become the first billionaire is Cristiano Ronaldo. I did not know that, and I did not have that on my bingo card. So after his contract that he just signed, it means that he's the first athlete to ever earn $1 billion playing sports.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We got a doubleheader tonight in Major League Baseball. Feels like we had a doubleheader here. Why? Because hour number 1 is down, but hour number 2 is here to give out more information and have a lot of fun. We always say this, like the early line of this design is, you wake up with us, we start your SportsGrid day, we hand off the baton to many fascinating programs, great information, a lot of laughs, and a lot of good stuff here. I'm Donnie Rightside, he's Joe Ranieri. It's just what we do, and Fridays sometimes seem just as important, or if not more important, than every other day of the week. Now, Monday, we always love to play armchair quarterback. So many things happen on Saturday and Sunday, Monday Night Football, and you move forward. But Friday, it's like that, the dawn of a new day. Like you can see it on the horizon. People are out there working hard on their Friday, just waiting to get to 5 o'clock and say, you know what? I'm going to enjoy some college football tonight. I'm going to enjoy college football Saturday. I'm going to enjoy the NFL on Sunday. And also, there's something called Major League Baseball and the NHL getting busy as well. It's a great time, Joe, and it's a perfect time to help the people out and let them know exactly what they should be looking forward to.
Yeah, listen, we kind of told you everything you needed to know about the Steelers last night and their inability or ability to do better than anybody, play down to competition. And boy, did they ever last night here. So I think we got a few nuggets coming up this hour you're going to want to pay close attention to if you're looking to make a few wagers this weekend.
Absolutely you are. And if you're looking to make wagers yesterday, I was like, man, this is kind of interesting here. Road favorite here for the Steelers, best team in the division. The Bengals don't look particularly good. Short work week here. Joe Flacco still doesn't know the full playbook. And Joe Flacco was absolutely outstanding last night, throwing 47 times, getting 31 completions, close to 350 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, and only sacked twice. And a great drive at the end of the game with some heady heads-up play by their starting wide receiver to slide down and solidify that victory. The Bengals, 33. The Steelers, 31. 3-4 Bengals. Optimism. The season is still alive for those Bengals.
Yeah, it is. And again, last night, which is what makes it very difficult for the public to have a ton of long-term success betting the NFL, Donnie. We always hear, the lines are sharp. Well, the problem is this league is also a contrarian league because no public bettor looked at Pittsburgh and Cincinnati last night and said, Flacco, you got to be.
Yep.
Yeah, well, the 40-year-old Flacco beat the other 40-some-odd-year-old Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers wasn't the reason they lost that game. That defense of Pittsburgh, we saw it in the opening week when everyone was healthy against the Jets. And boy, did we see it again yesterday against Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals. That did everything you need to do to neutralize that Steelers pass rush and neutralize it and win. They did.
Yeah, two things that would happen in that game. Number one was you heard after the game Aaron Rodgers talking about, hey, man, we really had a chance to separate ourselves in this division. We're still 4-2, and away we go. But those are one of the games you look back at the end of the season. Man, if we just would have beat the lowly Bengals here, our life would have been a little bit easier in the division and also in playoff seeding. But also what this did, the Bengals' 33-31 victory, gave life back to the Bengals season where it's not just going off the rails. And that brings up Joe Burrow, who was in the building last night on the sideline, still rehabbing. He's not coming back for still a couple months at this point. But if there's a chance that Joe Burrow can return back to the field with a chance they can make the playoffs, two things happen. Yeah, they're going to love Burrow being healthy. But number two, that means Joe Flacco played some pretty good football the rest of the way and probably threw for a ton of yards and a ton of touchdowns.
We had, I know before the game, they were showing Flacco out of the field. The poor guy looked like he was just down, down in the dumps, man. It was because he's like, oh, boy. Here we go again. Now we're going to, 4 straight losses, now maybe a 5th. Well, boy, he looked like a different dude after that game was over. And if he can make it back and you can stay above water again, what is Baltimore doing here? Cincinnati is very much in play, especially after beating Pittsburgh for winning this division.
By the way, let's talk about this next coach here, Curt Cignetti. Indiana's head football coach is going to make $11.6 million per year and maybe worth his weight in gold because Indiana was basically just a crossover, easy layup homecoming game for many teams in the Big Ten, particularly the heavyweights in the Big Ten. He gets this big deal. And you know what? This seems a little bit different. I remember Michigan State when Mel Tucker got that big contract because he was able to get Kenneth Walker from Wake Forest and made him all that money. And it was apparent like he couldn't coach at all his way out of a paper bag, but just got 1 year lightning in a bottle. They signed him to a big deal and eventually paid him out a ton of money to fire him. Cignetti seems like he's the type of guy that's like, why would I want to go to Florida, Miami, Texas, USC, Penn State, or Ohio State? I actually like this. I'm going to take this downtrodden program and build it up into a power and tell you every step of the way how I did it and how we're going to kick your butt on a week-to-week basis. I think this is a perfect fit. And you know what? I like Cignetti staying in Indiana. I do.
Well, and listen, in this day and age, and this is another thing, Donnie, that the NIL has changed. There really is no reason for you to have to go to a Penn State or a USC. Like, that's not where you're going, they can only recruit, 5-star prospects in the big blue. Yep. No, you don't anymore. That whole thing is changed. It's gone. He can be at Indiana and get just as many 5-star recruits to come and play for him now as he could have at Penn State. So kudos to him. And again, we're talking about big fish, little pond here. He's in the right conference and he can do enough damage. And Indiana slowly is now becoming a football school, Donnie.
Crazy, man. I love to see it here. It's kind of fun because you always like that coach that's able to talk trash. But, it's easy to talk trash when at Alabama. When you could talk trash and back it up at Indiana, that's saying something, man. That man's a good coach, and he got paid because he's a good coach. The 76ers paid a lot of money to Paul George to, I guess, not play basketball. Injured his left knee over the summer, had the procedure done. Not going to be ready for opening night for the Sixers. But you're right, Joe. Sixers on paper, if they're all healthy, like, hey, that's a pretty good playoff team, maybe a top 4 seed, top 3 seed in the East. But the Sixers on the court, much different than the team you get on paper, apparently.
Yeah, there's nothing locked or guaranteed in sports betting, Donnie. I mean, the only thing that we get live that we know for sure is what? Death, taxes, and the Philadelphia 76ers stars never being healthy enough to start the regular season. What a shock. Likely won't be healthy enough to play, half the games at some point here, but money well spent. We're trusting the process in Philadelphia, Donnie. How about you?
How about trusting this process? Spencer Dinwiddie, how did he get signed a couple months ago, not even playing games, and get cut by your basketball team? But I guess your departing check of $3.6 million feels good, but that's pretty hard to do, to get signed and be like, man, this guy stinks. Get him out of here.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it, man? Like, dude, the amount of money. Well, I think the easiest job or the job that everyone wants is a 6-man on an NBA bench who has to play like 4 minutes a night and makes like $38 million. It's just the money in the NBA for what you get is just head scratching. It truly is.
By the way, here's the next one, which we talked about in hour number one. Bucks A.J. Green signs a 4-year, $45 million extension. When I see it come up like Shams Charania, hey, breaking news, this guy signed. I'm telling you, Joe, I had no idea who this guy is, and all I like to do typically in the NBA is bet 3-point props. How did I miss him here at this point? How did I not know who this guy was? And also, even in I don't even know where he even went to college. I thought he was a mythical figure that just came out of nowhere that somebody's playing an AI prank on me. But apparently the guy can shoot 3-point shots. No idea.
All day. Actually, he played 73 games last year. And get a load of these numbers, Donnie. Yeah, 7 points, 2 boards, and 1.5 assists in 22.5 minutes per game. And you just gave him $45 billion. Unreal.
I look at Milwaukee, I don't know who AJ Green is, but I know Thanasis Antetokounmpo, right? Thanasis gets a half of a minute a game. I never heard of this guy, but that just goes to show you the money in the NBA since they got the new contract.
Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa. Yes,
wow,
correct.
There you go, man. Get after it. NIU money out there. Get that fun. Carter Hart signs with the Vegas Knights. By the way, he used to be a Philadelphia Flyers goalie, but not even the Flyers wanted to touch him after the nonsense that was going off. Now, granted, we innocent, non-innocent. Sometimes you just take that PR hit. It looks like the Vegas Golden Knights are willing to take that PR hit to see if they get some talent in net.
Quarterbacks, goaltenders, Donnie, pitchers that can throw 100 miles an hour. These are spots and positions that it doesn't matter. You will get 90 chances in life in those positions.
Exactly. And also, if you're a good coach, you get some extra opportunities. Why? That's Terry Bowden. We need him to answer some questions on a big college football weekend next. Watching Tua Tagovailoa's post-game press conferences where he basically is yeah, I'm getting paid, deal with it. By the way, how's the team? Nobody shows up to meetings, players-only meetings, people skip out. Nobody cares around here, and we lost again. Tua threw 3 interceptions. Yes, he's part of the problem. James Franklin got fired from Penn State, we'll talk about later. When is McDaniels getting shown the door? This team is ridiculous, Joe.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Tell the coordinators what you want. I just don't get it. I don't. These coaches are so chummy with each other that they don't want to throw their guy under the bus. You're getting paid the $10 million. He's not. Take a rein and change the game plan. Right. If it's not working and the offensive coordinator is not getting it done, you need to have input.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
You love this segment. You nailed this segment. You sort of put your mark on it with the rats with the cash.
There's rats.
Right? And they're the garbage games. Although one of the games...
What are you saying, rats hang out in garbage? What's wrong with
you? Yeah, they do. Hang out in New York City. You'll see it.
A lot of rats in New York City. That's the way it is, man. Hey, we don't want to throw out any names out there. Exactly.
Philly, too. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You may be surprised, because I am, that the athlete in the world who has become the first billionaire is Cristiano Ronaldo. I did not know that, and I did not have that on my bingo card. So after his contract that he just signed, it means that he's the first athlete to ever earn $1 billion playing sports.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We love to tell you it's a Football Friday right here on the SportsGrid Network. This is the Early Line on Friday mornings. We have a lot of time, and we also have a lot of time to talk to some special people. Donnie writes out, I'm not so special. Joe Ranieri, he's not so special. You know who is special? It's Coach Terry Bowden on a Friday right here on the Early Line, Coach. Love having you on with us.
Well, we got great football from 6 o'clock. I'm on Central Time. From 6 o'clock on here, we got great football till midnight and then all day tomorrow. Can't wait.
Now, Now, Coach, you've been in some big games before, and I'm sure you saw your share of bad calls not go your way. You were in the building at Jordan Hare this weekend. Bad calls went against the Tigers here that could determine the outcome of the SEC. What happened?
Second game, Oklahoma, same thing happened to them. They lost by that score. It was amazing. Everything was Auburn. The way they played, they were stuffing Georgia. They were about to go up 17-10 with 1:30 seconds left. They don't get the call. It's turning. All of a sudden, the sideline goes quiet. The entire stadium goes quiet. The inspiration was taken out. They were deflated. Nothing at that point forward. Auburn could not do a thing. They were almost waiting for something bad to happen. That's what happens when you lose close ball games.
Oh, Coach,
I don't know
wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty, but I don't know how close this game in my neck of the woods is going to be at the Hard Rock Stadium tonight with Louisville and the U. It's 13.5, going 2-touchdown favorite for the U, and it's out of sight, out of mind because we haven't seen these two teams in a little bit of a while here. It feels like.
Well, it's going to be a great game. Louisville and Miami. It's the two top defenses in the conference. They both can score points, but Miami, but they have great defenses as well. The problem is Louisville has been inconsistent. They've had a turnover every game. In the game they lost against Virginia, they had 2 turnovers that went for defensive scores. That's their one loss. Miami is much more consistent. Louisville doesn't run the ball very well, but they must run it. Or Reuben Bain and that Miami defense will be all over that quarterback. But I think this is a game where, Miami is 4-1 against the spread. Louisville is 1-4 against the spread. Miami at home. Miami's a much more consistent football team, better top to bottom. I've got Miami, and I'm going to take Miami to cover.
Coach Terry Bowden, no stranger, again, as we said, to big games and also being in big environments and coaching in big environments, sometimes coaching for a new job or just coaching for the job you have. I'd love to talk to you about this game, Nebraska and Minnesota. On the field, 7.5-point spread for the road team, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But as we know, Penn State has a job open. Matt Rule said that could be his dream job. Talk to me about the distractions you have as a major level coach when you're worried about a football game and maybe a contract at the same time.
Well, hey, if you're Rule and you want to stop all the distractions, stop all the rumors, just lose this football game. They don't offer losing coaches. They offer winning coaches. So if they play exceptionally well, that means he's thinking about that Penn State job, and they should play exceptionally well. Nebraska right now is got one loss, a tough loss that they had in their game to Michigan. Minnesota's struggling. They've lost 3 games to conference teams. Minnesota cannot run the football, and Nebraska is playing better football. So right now, this is a game that really, if Nebraska will do their job, throw the running game in, because Minnesota gave up 253 yards rushing to Purdue. So if Nebraska, and they will run the football, they will control the clock, and they will win the game. I'm sticking with Nebraska right now. We'll keep Rule's name in the Penn State discussions. And to be honest with you, he answered way too many questions. When you want to shut down an interview, just say I'm not interested. He had 50 reasons why he loves Penn State in that interview, which says, man, that's way too long of an answer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got another really interesting one in the SEC, Coach. Georgia, one of the best run defenses. You just saw them in the country. But the problem is Ole Miss is not interested in running into the teeth of the Georgia defense. They'll have no problem throwing the ball. I think the revenge factor is overblown here. Styles make fights. Who wins this fight, Coach?
Well, I mean, for a lot of reasons, I think Georgia will win the fight. And I'll be honest with you, I was at the Ole Miss game last year. Ole Miss was a better football team. They were more talented. They were better than Georgia. That's not the case this year. Talent level goes to Georgia. But more importantly, it's at home. And this is the quarterback, Chambliss. This is his first real away game. He got a couple of mop-up snaps at Kentucky, but he's playing in one of the toughest environments. I think the atmosphere will affect Ole Miss. I'm not going to say intimidate. I'm going to say affect it, because their stadium's not real big. The noise is completely different, and the intimidation factor at Georgia is much higher. Georgia is not going to lose 2 home games after winning 33 straight, 2 home games in 1 year. I've got Georgia playing great. I've got them at kind of a overwhelming Ole Miss at home to win this game.
Coach, we got a playoff elimination scenario, feels like, coming up on 7:30 p.m. Saturday night. USC taking on Notre Dame is roughly a double-digit favorite. Also understand this. I want to get your ideas being a head coach. How do you prepare for a game knowing that weather and inclement weather is probably going to be there with some rain in the forecast between SC and Notre Dame?
Well, you can't worry about what you can't control. I think you do begin to say, okay, circle your best running plays, circle the pass plays that you can execute. Be careful about getting too much caught up in passing. But if it's not a steady rain, you qualify about 6 to 8 footballs for every game. So you can have a dry ball. Unless it's raining heavy, I've never had a problem. And if it's a wet field, the advantage goes to the offensive receivers, not the defensive backs, because they have to make decisions based on the offensive move. So I wouldn't worry about it unless you've got a steady rain. I worry more about how the other team plays right now. Southern Cal's got to find a way to score points against a very good Notre Dame team. Both these teams are geared up to win.
Yeah.
I mean, Notre Dame has only lost 2 teams to number 2 and number 4. USC has lost a walk-off field goal to Illinois. They're both geared to win. But I'm going to tell you, going to Notre Dame and playing Notre Dame at home, their defense is better. They're a little more consistent. I'm going with Notre Dame to beat Southern Cal here and cover the points.
I love it. A big-time weekend in college football. Big-time football Friday right on the SportsGrid Network. And each and every Friday, we get Coach Terry Bowden here to spill some of that knowledge that we need for those games tomorrow. Coach Terry Bowden, enjoy those football games. And once again, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, man.
We'll be right back after the break. Some Major League Baseball action next. Have you been watching Tua Tagovailoa's post-game press conferences where he basically is like, yeah, I'm getting paid, deal with it. By the way, how's the team? Nobody shows up to meetings, players-only meetings, people skip out. Nobody cares around here, and we lost again. Tua threw 3 interceptions. Yes, he's part of the problem. James Franklin got fired from Penn State, we'll talk about later. When is McDaniels getting shown the door? This team is ridiculous, Joe.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Tell the coordinators what you want. I just don't get it. I don't. These coaches are so chummy with each other that they don't want to throw their guy under the bus. You're getting paid the $10 million. He's not. Take a rein and change the game plan. Right. If it's not working and the offensive coordinator is not getting it done, you need to have input.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
You love this segment.
I do.
You nicknamed this segment. You sort of put your mark on it with the rats with the cash.
There's rats.
Right? And they're the
cash.
Garbage games.
Garbage
Although one of the
games.
games...
What are you saying, rats hang out in garbage? What's wrong
Yeah,
with
they
you?
do. Hang out in New York City. You'll see it.
A lot of rats in New York City. That's the way it is, man. Hey, we don't want to throw out any names out there. Exactly.
Philly, too. Yeah, we don't
names out
talk
there at
about
this point.
that.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You may be surprised, because I am, that the athlete in the world who has become the first billionaire is Cristiano Ronaldo. I did not know that, and I did not have that on my bingo card. So after his contract that he just signed, it means that he's the first athlete to ever earn $1 billion playing sports.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Doubleheader tonight. Well, maybe in college football, 2 top 25 games are going to take place tonight. We just talked about it with Coach Terry Bowden, but Major League Baseball is going to take center stage at 6:08 Eastern, which means 3:08 out on the West Coast. Now, I'm going to buck a little bit of trends here because that means that we might be getting some of those shadows in the outfield. But don't you worry. Toronto and Seattle, they're going to give it up at 6 o'clock. 8:38. You know who else is giving up? The Milwaukee Brewers and the Los Angeles Dodgers, Joe. Let's focus on game number 1, Gausman versus Miller. Hey, 2 starting pitchers. Amazing, isn't it? Look at the price point in this game. -115s, -110s, depending where you're shopping at. A de facto toss-up in a series that should not have been a toss-up with a 2-0 series lead for Seattle headed back to Seattle. We now find ourselves, Joe, 2-2, a pivotal game number 5 in a total that's listed at 7. Miller's high ERA, Gausman, that veteran on the mound. Are the bats going to wake up for the Mariners? Is Toronto going to continue to slug, Joe? What gives here?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because both of these games, Donnie, feel like one team has crazy amounts of momentum right now. And momentum wins in, this time of year, certainly in Major League Baseball. We laughed about it, Donnie, originally. You and I, we were laughing during this week. We're going, if you're the Brewers, you're like, all right, so I got Skubal in game 1, but if I can get past game 1 with Skubal, I'm going to get Skubal in game 2. Oh, yeah, then I'm going to get it. And that's exactly what this has to feel like for the Brewers. I think mentally above the shoulders, even though, Donnie, they should go out there without a care in the world, right? How much of this can you act? I mean, you've scored 3 runs in 3 games. You can't hit the ball. You can't hit for power. You can't even get dudes on base. To me, I think it's over before it even starts in that one.
You know what's crazy in this too? You look at this game, like the evolution of the series. Can you imagine, like, in what world does Seattle go to Toronto, win 2 games, and then Seattle comes back home and loses 3 games, and then they go on the road? Imagine if they win 2 games themselves. Just like, this might have been the craziest series we've ever seen, and one series that we probably thought would be quick. And once again, back-to-back games at home, Joe, for Seattle, where they hit a home run, a 2-run home run and a solo home run to give themselves the lead, and they collapsed because Toronto was just an avalanche of offense in that game. Maybe it's a quick hook for Miller tonight, but I do think we get more runs than not. Hint, hint there. Game number 2, Milwaukee and Los Angeles. Joe, we don't know who the starting pitcher is going to be for Milwaukee. The one thing we do know is every starting pitcher for the Dodgers seems like they are Cy Young. Heavy favorites at -190 to -200, depending where you're shopping at, in a total of 8. The shadow should not be an issue for Milwaukee and LA. The only issue is Milwaukee going to get more than 3 hits?
Yeah, we knew we had to get creative with this series, Donna. We talked about it yesterday where, listen, the Dodgers are going to be a $2 favorite in the next couple of games. Yeah. And we do not trust the Brewers offensively to get anything done here. I think they had another injury yesterday. Both of these series feel like Toronto has now found their groove again, right? They are back at it, and it looks like Seattle is regressing. In this one, it feels like the Dodgers have hit their groove back on September 1st, Donnie. It feels like at the most important stretch of the season, they have figured out how to play their best baseball. And they're not beating guys 12 runs, 13. Like, they're scoring and doing just enough behind the pitching to win games and demoralize teams. And I think it's going to be a very interesting World Series when it's all said and done.
We talked about it earlier, like what the Dodgers are doing. Like, again, they're just sucking the soul out of cities and teams here that are really good baseball teams. Like, you have no chance. And it's like, okay, first inning, second inning, third inning, you look up, it's like, well, we don't have any runs here. And the tension just starts to mount, saying everybody's trying to hit home runs because you're just trying to do something big, and nobody can do anything about it. And understand this. Like, we talk about Max Scherzer, who, hey, credit to him. I didn't think he was going to pitch all that well. Worked himself out of some innings here, got over 5 innings. That was a great performance out of him to give him everything he needed for the Blue Jays. Now we look at Shohei Ohtani, who's not the same as Max Scherzer. He was pitching elite down the stretch, comes in against the Phillies like, hey, buddy, we can rest you here. We don't even need you yet. He's on extended rest as well as a starting pitcher, and also going to absolutely be the top of the lineup leadoff hitter for the Dodgers. It's astounding how much talent the Dodgers have, but really is it? The expectations to start the season, the Dodgers were supposed to win the World Series. The Dodgers now on their way, Joe, as it looks like, to winning a World Series.
And they're doing it, Donnie, in just classic fashion, too, with just dominant starting pitching, making you play from behind and demoralizing you, because even the bullpen, I mean, what do you go, 5 2/3 last night? Yeah. So the bullpen had to get involved, which is a rare thing in this series. But even then, it looked like they were helpless, and the same thing's going to happen here tonight.
It's incredible. And you know what I do? Like old school baseball, like the Dodgers are playing that right now. Hey, you know what? Let's get a starting pitcher, go 5 or 6 innings. Like new school baseball, Milwaukee. We have no idea who our starting pitcher is going to be the very next day. I'm actually glad that's losing out. That can't be the future of Major League Baseball. You know what the future of the NFL is? This weekend. Joe and Donnie get after it next.
The best part about it is that they're just going about handling their business. I was listening to Arvell Reese and his literally like 5-word sentences about himself and some of the things that Caleb has been talking about. The dudes are just so locked in here about just doing their job and not worrying about all the other things and awards. They know all those happen when you go win and you win decisively.
The Bobby Carpenter Show, only on SportsGrid.
Baker Mayfield is the most important player on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they are in first place right now, looking dead in the eye of home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They played a bad division. They're going to win a lot of games, and they're the best fourth quarter team, or at least the 2-minute warning team in all football. So, don't sleep on that.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Awesome and monumentous win against Oregon. Texas has saved their season. Texas has given themselves life to potentially crash the college football playoff party. For OU, a loss to Texas shouldn't be the end of your season. And yet with that remaining schedule, it feels like it could be. Books certainly pricing it that way. A lot of movement off of the Red River rivalry.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Paige or Caitlin? Who do you take and why?
I think for the WNBA, in a sense where they're moving toward more guards when it's been very post and big heavy in the past. But there's a reason why Caitlin Clark set all those records at college and then went into the WNBA and set all those records immediately. I really do think she's just a different level talent.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Back to the NFL and the New England Patriots. Are there thoughts, Joe Ranieri, that they can actually be the best team in the AFC East? Maybe they can. They're going to take on the Tennessee Titans as a favorite on the road at -7. Also, Joe, road game, Buffalo. Road game last week. Road game this week, and a total of 42.5. The expectations of a young football team, now granted, it's all relative, right? Just have a young quarterback. Expecting to win football games and competing to win football games are two different things. Do the New England Patriots have enough left in the tank to say, yeah, Tennessee's a team we're supposed to beat? Yes, we're going to beat them by over a touchdown.
The problem is the NFL isn't college football, Donnie, where you can just lay it on a team because the coach wants some sort of revenge or something here. It feels like this line opened up with that already, that whole Vrabel revenge game against his old team. That's already been baked in here. But the public, and I think the books know this, is that they're going to latch on to that and that it's going to be nothing but a steady stream of New England money. Much like we saw against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati last night, the idea that Cincinnati is awful. You're going to get the same thing here with Tennessee. This isn't college. These are professional NFL players. This is a business. It's not like Tennessee is worse off because they fired Hallahan. They're better off because he was one of the absolute worst coaches to ever don the sidelines in any organization. So to me, this is strictly blown out of proportion. I think all the value is on the home dog in Tennessee. That's the only way I would look at this game.
And Tennessee would never be in an intriguing situation, but they actually are this week. New coach here. Kenny's sort of light a spark, and New England's playing good football. Can they hold on to it? Sometimes we look at the big games of the week like, ooh, they're the only fun ones. As we get to this next game, only people that like pain and like sorrow in their lives love this stuff, but I do. It's Carolina on the road to take on the New York Jets. I have no idea what the Jets' game plan is going to be. I have no idea what Aaron Glenn is. So I'm like, hey, guy stinks at quarterback, but just because he stinks doesn't mean you can't play him the next week. Oh, no, you can bench him readily available and easily. And maybe Tyrod Taylor, who apparently has the locker room on his side to make a difference. Justin Fields seems like he's playing for his life in the NFL. But look at this. Carolina, 1-point favorite on the road, taking on Justin Fields and the Jets, a total of 42.5. I don't even need to ask you, Joe, who's going to win this game. Just understand, what is going to take place on the field from a New York Jets perspective. That's all I want to know.
And who's going to be on the field for the New York Jets from that perspective? Because Garrett Wilson and Josh Reynolds, their two wide receivers there, have not practiced all week and likely aren't playing, which means the targets will be Aaron Smith, Alan Lazard, and Tyler Johnson. Those are the only other wide receivers the Jets actually have on a 53-man roster. So do you think they're going to try to throw the ball? No, they're not going to try to throw the ball, Donnie. They're going to try to screen game or use the running game to the best of their ability. But the problem is, sneakily, everyone sticks of, this Panthers defense is terrible. Well, no, they're actually above average in defending the run. In fact, they just held Dallas to 31 yards on 19 carries, which was a big reason why they were able to come back and win that game. Now you got a New York offense where if I'm the defense of Carolina, I know you can't throw the ball. I know you're not throwing the ball. What do you think they're going to be able to get on the ground, Donnie? This is shaping up to be hysterical with the New York Jets, but I like Bryce Young. I like their trajectory. They have not won a home road game yet this year, but I think that changes in this one.
It's funny, too. It feels like a high school football game. Everybody run it, pass it every once in a while. We'll see who wins this game and see where it goes. But I'm fascinated at what the Jets actually bring to the table. That's how crazy I am. I want to watch this game to see what the Jets actually have on offense. You know what? Offense might be a tough one in this one. Well, typically, Miami can score, and they certainly don't have a defense, and you can score on them. Cleveland's got a great defense, but you know what else is also the great equalizer? How about really rainy conditions and heavy winds? Maybe the expectations is what's going to take place in Cleveland. The total is dropping. 41.5, no longer out there, Joe. They're 36 to 37.5 right now, but still a favorite for Cleveland. Miami comes in, as I like to call it, the powder keg that could explode at any moment. How do we play this game between the Dolphins and the Browns?
Well, again, this was to start the week, Donnie. You and I laughed because we looked at the opening odds, and Cleveland and the Jets were both favorite. Well, the Jets are no longer the favorite, but Cleveland still is here, Donnie. And I think a lot of it is the best unit on the field for both of these teams is going to be the defense for the Cleveland Browns. And we already know temperatures are dropping, the weather's getting a little worse, and we all know that Tua and Miami historically can't win in colder temperatures and the elements. They're much better in 70, 80 degrees than they are in what they're about to face this weekend here. We've seen the total drop. I think this all correlates to, I think it's priced right. The Browns are the better team. Crazy as that is, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Stefanski could very well be the better coach. And I like the Browns' chances of getting the win at home in front of the fans.
Yeah, it should be one to watch there and interesting, again, for the weather conditions that we have at this point. And by the way, we're going to talk about a game coming up next, which is in the Windy City, which will be windy this weekend and also rain in the forecast. We've seen some crazy weather, instances in Cleveland and Chicago over the years. Rattler's going to come to town. That's the New Orleans Saints. They're a dome team. They don't want to be outdoors as is, and now you're going to throw them into the elements. But the Bears, we're used to seeing them as underdogs each and every week. Now the expectations are they're expected to win, much like we talk about the New England Patriots heading on the road to take on Tennessee. This line, Joe, opened up around a touchdown, 6.5. It's now down to 4.5 at a lot of outlets and 46.5. But my question to you is, what's up with the groin injuries here in Chicago? Like DeAndre Swift has a good football game. Groin injury, banged up. One of your wide receivers in DJ Moore, we don't even know what the heck was wrong with his groin injury, and that's not a good thing on a slick surface in Chicago. Can New Orleans go on the road, hang around with maybe a chance to pull off the win, or the Bears, hey, getting it together now under Coach Ben Johnson?
No, this is absolutely not. To me, this is, good luck. I am selling high on the Chicago Bears here, whose recent win streak, Donnie, when you dive into the numbers, the only reason they had 3 consecutive wins, you know why? Plus 11 in turnovers, Donnie. Against the Cowboys, they had 4, Raiders 3, and Commanders 3. over the last 3 weeks. That is the only reason why they won those games. So if New Orleans does not turn the ball over, New Orleans is very much live to not only cover this, but win this game outright. Absolutely not am I laying points with Chicago, who, by the way, people don't realize this. Chase Young is back for the Saints on the defensive side of the ball. And he was all over the backfield last week when he came out and played. Now, all of a sudden, New Orleans is a top 5 team against the run. So you're not running the ball, which means Caleb Williams is going to have to beat you with his arm. Good luck laying 5.5 points with Caleb Williams. Not me. I'll take the Saints.
Little rain, a little wind here. We're talking about, hey, can they cover 4.5, 5.5, or 6.5? How about this game at Arrowhead? We're talking about covering double digits. Why? The Kansas City Chiefs are 11.5-point favorites over the Las Vegas Raiders. Geno Smith, Patrick Mahomes. It looks like everybody's in town for Kansas City, and that includes Taylor Swift and also a bunch of wide receivers like Rashee Rice. 45.5 is a total. Is this a walk in the park for Kansas City, or do they go back to being like, yeah, Kansas City wins, but boy, do they hate covering spreads?
Listen, if Kansas City would have been undefeated heading into this game, I'd say, oh, boy, maybe not great. But they've already lost their full complement of games that they are more than comfortable losing here, Donnie. And for the first time, they're going to have their full complement of offensive weapons going up against a Vegas team who was one of the worst against the pass in the NFL right now. This is a nightmare spot for the Raiders, who will likely turn the ball over again. Yeah, it's all Kansas City for me in this one.
Yeah, take a look at some weather conditions there at Arrowhead. Last time we saw them on that night game against Detroit, we had like 83-degree temperatures. We're in the high 50s to low 60s. Light winds around 10 miles per hour. No precipitation in the forecast, so we should be just fine. But it will be interesting to see that Kansas City offense full gas. And also the rumors around the NFL where the Chiefs are snooping around for a legitimate running back. You get them a good running back here, an Andy Reid offense with a full complement of wide receivers and Patrick Mahomes. That could be a fun team, certainly, to watch you play out. More NFL action on the way. We'll talk a little Colts, Chargers, Giants, Broncos, and Packers, Cardinals coming up next, and much more. It's the early line. It's a Football Friday. Life is good. Stick it here with us. Have you been watching Tua Tagovailoa's post-game press conferences where he basically is like, yeah, I'm getting paid, deal with it. By the way, how's the team? Nobody shows up to meetings, players-only meetings, people skip out. Nobody cares around here, and we lost again. Tua threw 3 interceptions. Yes, he's part of the problem. James Franklin got fired from Penn State, we'll talk about later. When is McDaniels getting shown the door? This team is ridiculous, Joe.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Tell the coordinators what you want. I just don't get it. I don't. These coaches are so chummy with each other that they don't want to throw their guy under the bus. You're getting paid the $10 million. He's not. Take a rein and change the game plan. Right. If it's not working and the offensive coordinator is not getting it done, you need to have input.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
You love this segment. You nicknamed this segment. You sort of put your mark on it with the rats with the cash.
There's rats.
Right? And they're the garbage games. Although one of the games...
What are you saying, rats hang out in garbage? What's wrong with
they do. Hang out in New York City. You'll see it.
A lot of rats in New York City. That's the way it is, man. Hey, we don't want to throw out any names out there. Exactly.
Philly, too. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You may be surprised, because I am, that the athlete in the world who has become the first billionaire is Cristiano Ronaldo. I did not know that, and I did not have that on my bingo card. So after his contract that he just signed, it means that he's the first athlete to ever earn $1 billion playing sports.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Who thought we'd be saying this on October the 17th? The first place Indianapolis Colts, who would be the number 1 overall seed in the AFC if the season ended today, are going to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. This line opened up as a slight favorite towards the Colts, but now we see a 1.5-point favorite here for the Chargers. A total listed at 48.5. The Chargers getting a little bit more healthy this week on their home turf, a fast slate, 2 teams that like to be in a dome, Joe. I think we could see some points in this environment, and maybe we get that total close to 50 points.
Yeah, and we've seen this line continuing to move towards the Chargers as the Colts continue to get the tickets and the money. And why is that? Well, look at the injuries in this spot. Number one, the Colts schedule has been as soft as like a roll of Charmin here. At 5-1, congratulations, but give me a break here. I mean, they've had Arizona. They had to go up against Arizona's backup quarterback.
Almost lost.
Vegas, Tennessee, Denver, and Miami. And the Broncos are the only solid team that they've actually beaten. But you and I both know they should not have won that game.
Correct.
Denver should have won that game. So it is no shock that now they go back on the road out west and they are the public favorite, but that's not the case. The secondary of the Colts is a mass unit, Donnie. They are absolutely banged up. I think Xavier Howard didn't need the backup. Even he just retired, I think, over the last week, too, as well. They don't have a lot of depth, and I can tell you that's perfect for Harbaugh and for Herbert to take advantage of, like the Chargers, to get it done at home here.
Yeah, keep an eye on the practice reports on Friday. Joe and I always like to take a look at those. Joe Alt practiced yesterday. If he can play this weekend, that would be a massive boost to that offensive line to sort of get some of those players back to protect Herbert, give him extra time to throw to those wide receivers downfield. The Giants were really impressive against the Philadelphia Eagles last time we saw them last week on Thursday Night Football. They're going to head out to elevation in the Denver Broncos team that's favored by 7 points in this one. Are the Giants going to come back to reality with that nasty defense and nasty pass rush for Denver? Or can the Giants hang around with a legitimate chance to stay within one possession late in that game, Joe?
Yeah, well, they can. I mean, because we've talked about it, right? The Broncos have this habit of keeping teams they're supposed to be better than, well, they're keeping them hanging around. Correct here, Donnie? We just watched them do it with the Jets. Now they got to fly home. But again, they just played in London last weekend. And the Giants, well, they're starting to figure some things out here. And it all starts with their quarterback. So I think laying 7, not for me, but I would not be mad at you if you're like, you know what, give me the Giants, give me the touchdown. I like the chance that they have in this game. If I'm betting Denver, I'm only doing it early in this game, Donnie.
I'll tell you, the tickets for the people like are the Green Bay Packers to win this game against Arizona. The question is, can they cover a 7-point line at most outlets in a total that's listed at 44.5? Arizona doesn't know their starting quarterback is going to be, but Brissett was very good last week. And outside of a play where the Colts basically tackled McBride in the end zone that didn't get called, they almost upset the Colts in their own building. Can we get week number 2 of Arizona trying to upset another football team here, Joe?
Well, I think heading into this week, the Cardinals and the Bengals were in total free fall, right? They were both, I think, lost 4 straight after starting the year 0-2. Well, the Bengals won. Does that mean that maybe the Cardinals can? Listen, I have not been impressed with what I have seen from Green Bay here. I mean, Cincinnati in the second half pretty much had their way with this vaunted Green Bay defense, and it still looks like they're trying to figure some things out offensively with Green Bay. This is a very desperate Arizona team at home. Kyler Murray, whether he plays, he doesn't play. Obviously, we saw how it looked with the backup under center there. This is a dangerous spot for Green Bay. Another game that I wouldn't run to the window to lay a touchdown with the road dog, or the road favorite, rather.
Yeah, no, it'll be an interesting game to see how that one plays out, no doubt, and see if Jacoby Brissett, because then it just puts, Kyler Murray in a bad light. Like, we paid this guy all this money. We have this random backup guy that's doing the same things here. And also, sometimes you get in that locker room where if you don't like to see what the head coach is saying against the starting quarterback, the locker room starts to lean with the backup quarterback, and away you go there. How about Washington and Dallas? Maybe going to be the most entertaining game of the weekend, at least the highest number, 54.5s to 55s out there as a total, and a slight favorite to Washington. Terry McLaurin looks like he's probably going to miss another game this week. Deebo Samuel already banged up. Dak Prescott looking to get back CeeDee Lamb for this game. I do think we get points. I'm not going to overthink this one, Joe. We should be getting points. These two defenses not very good. These two offenses can be very good, and it's in a dome. We're not worried about windy conditions and or rainy conditions at all.
This total is over the top, and I get it. CD Lamb and
Come on,
Terry
Joe, get on
McLaurin
Come on, get
are
on.
back
60.
here.
60.
Yeah, I mean, both guys will have their lead, but who cares? I mean, this is a absurd total here at this particular point. Listen, I mean, we know Dallas's offense absolutely top 10 in the NFL right now. I think we can all agree on that. But we also know that the way Washington and Dallas are going to want to play defense is keep everything in front of them, Donnie. They're going to make you earn it. They're not going to give up the big plays. Quick throws. We could rack up a ton of yards in this game, but maybe not as many touchdowns. And that is what scares me about looking at the over here.
See what takes place in that game. Atlanta's going to travel out to San Francisco for Sunday Night Football. Bijan Robinson was tremendous. Last time we saw him in primetime, knocking off Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Drake London got all the targets from Michael Penix and was absolutely dominant. The favorite, though, however, is San Francisco. But that look-ahead line, 4.5 down to 1.5 and 2s in the marketplace, and a total of 46.5. Not sure quite who's going to be that San Francisco quarterback just yet, but this is a big game. Atlanta, you want to step up with the big boys, go on the road, out of your dome, 3,000 miles away, and go beat the 49ers, who, quite frankly, are injured enough where you should be able to beat them.
Well, I mean, the good news is Purdy back. Kittle has been practicing this week, so maybe some of the reinforcements. But I'm still not sold on Atlanta. I mean, winning a game at home against a dysfunctional Bills team right now who's banged up on defense, congrats. But now you got to go on the road and you're expected. I am not buying Atlanta here at all in this spot. I think if Purdy and Kittle get back in the lineup here and they start for the 49ers, it is advantage 49ers in a big way.
By the way, we do have to wait till Monday night to probably get the marquee games of the weekend. It's kind of fun. Like, we love the NFL so much, but there's really not a game you look at on Sunday afternoon like, oh, my goodness, this is going to be such a fantastic game. I must have to sit here. Like the 4 o'clock games, Washington, Dallas. Okay, Green Bay, Arizona, stop it. Giants, Denver, no shot here at this point. We love the NFL, and it's a football Friday. It's how we get down. Now it's time to put some money in your pocket. Bye, and the Fade the Public polls up next. Have you been watching Tua Tagovailoa's post-game press conferences where he basically is like, yeah, I'm getting paid, deal with it. By the way, how's the team? Nobody shows up to meetings, players-only meetings, people skip out. Nobody cares around here, and we lost again. Tua threw 3 interceptions. Yes, he's part of the problem. James Franklin got fired from Penn State, we'll talk about later. When is McDaniels getting shown the door? This team is ridiculous, Joe.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Tell the coordinators what you want. I just don't get it. I don't. These coaches are so chummy with each other that they don't want to throw their guy under the bus. You're getting paid the $10 million. He's not. Take a rein and change the game plan. Right. If it's not working and the offensive coordinator is not getting it done, you need to have input.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
You love this segment. You nicknamed this segment. You sort of put your mark on it with the rats with the cash.
There's rats.
Right? And they're the garbage games. Although one of the games...
What are you saying, rats hang out in garbage? What's wrong with
they do. Hang out in New York City. You'll see it.
A lot of rats in New York City. That's the way it is, man. Hey, we don't want to throw any names out there. Exactly.
Philly, too. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You may be surprised, because I am, that the athlete in the world who has become the first billionaire is Cristiano Ronaldo. I did not know that, and I did not have that on my bingo card. So after his contract that he just signed, it means that he's the first athlete to ever earn $1 billion playing sports.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Jeff Fun today with us on a Football Friday, SportsGrid Network, The Early Line. Donnie right side, Joe Ranieri. Of course you did. Coach Terry Bowden joined us to go over the big college football games on the card tonight and also on Saturday. Tom Vecchio joined us, throwing out some prop bets for the people. But this is the time we like to reach out to the public and ask them what their opinion is on a certain hot topic. Here's our Fade the Public poll. The best team in baseball, Joe Ranieri, that we thought to start the season was the Los Angeles Dodgers. Would they set the all-time wins record and knock off that old Seattle Mariners post? No, they didn't do that. Matter of fact, entering into the playoffs, they technically weren't really even the favorites to win it because why? The Milwaukee Brewers had a better record. The Philadelphia Phillies were at home, and you thought maybe the Dodgers would stumble. They ain't stumbling on anything. So today at SportsGrid on X, if you're not following us, what are you doing? Head over to X and give us a follow. The question was asked today. Will the Dodgers eliminate the Brewers tonight in Game 4 of the NLCS? Which means in a sweep over the team with the best record in Major League Baseball. The results are in, Joe. Boy, if you want to fade the public here, you're going to have to get after it. Because why? Yes, at almost 81% right now, the Dodgers will eliminate the Brewers. And, Joe, I can't even fault the public here. I can't.
No, and we said it yesterday. Back and go bet the Dodgers in a 4-0 exact sweep here. You could still get it at plus money. At plus 150 yesterday. It was the right move if you thought they were going to win last night, which we both did. There is no question to me now. It's just demoralizing for the Brewers, unfortunately. Great season, but Donnie, it proves once again there are teams built to win in the regular season in a 162-game stretch, and then there are those that are built to win in October, and the Dodgers are clearly one of those teams.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's amazing. Can you imagine, Joe? Let's just say the game goes the way we think it's going to go today. Ohtani's on the mound, 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 hits given up. Bullpen holds it down. They move on to the World Series. And let's just say the World Series is Seattle, right? We'll say it, even though they're in a great series right now. The fact that the Dodgers could maybe sweep the World Series and have great pitching, like, I don't know, we've never seen something like what could be happening here for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It is what it is, but a pivotal game on deck tonight where they can eliminate the Brewers. But now it's time, Joe, to give the people what they want, and that's winners, baby. The one thing I love about this segment, Joe, we usually go at least 1-1 at worst case and usually come down with a 2-0. We never go 0-2. We didn't go 0-2 yesterday. It was 1-1. Today it's a Friday. It's payday. Let's go 2-0. Here's bye. The world is your oyster tonight, Joe Ranieri. Where are we going for those pearls of wisdom? Whew, that sounded good.
Well, there's a trend here, Donnie. On Fridays, I usually go with one of these college football games. We give you, of course, South Florida last week on a Friday. And tonight, I'm going to tell you under no certain terms, Nebraska is to play here tonight with Matt Rule, who has this unbelievable knack of taking struggling teams and programs and turning them around by year 3. He did it at Temple. He did it at Baylor. And guess what this year at Nebraska is? It's his 3rd year. And his team has been nothing but delivering here. Dominic Raiola, the quarterback, living up to all the hype. One of the better defenses as well that he has had in a very long time at Nebraska. Now, they're traveling to take on P.J. Fleck in Minnesota. Now, Minnesota is at home, Donnie, and I love this because I'm already seeing the line at around 7 now because the public is starting to get involved on a Friday going, well, you can't. How is it a home? Minnesota at home? They've always had a good defense. They always deliver in this spot. Yeah, right. But that was under a former defensive coordinator called Corey Heatherman. And guess where he is now? You'll see him tonight at Hard Rock Stadium because he's the defensive coordinator for the University of Miami. And what are we left with here for Minnesota? A terrible defense, Donnie. Give me Nebraska in a rout by double digits here tonight to get it done against Minnesota.
Every touchdown could help Matt Rule get more money in his contract, either from Nebraska and or from Penn State here. I'm going to keep it simple, just like the way I did yesterday. Toronto has woken up at the plate. You're taking a look at a hitter's ballpark? Nope, it's a pitcher's ballpark, but we're still going back to the hitters here. Kevin Gausman has actually been really good over the past 60 days. Bryce Miller has been not. Toronto should carry the day with the plate today with a possible chance to go up 3-2 in this series. Unheard of just a few short days ago. over 7. And Donnie, but there might be shadows. I'm bucking that trend tonight on a gut feel that this game once again has some electricity at the plate, Joe. Over 7, Toronto and Seattle, cashing tickets on a Friday. The boys are destined to go 2-0 tonight. How about that?
I love it, Donnie. College football, Major League Baseball. Cash it, people. Cash it.
Donnie right side, Joe Ranieri, the early line. Enjoy Saturday, Sunday. See you bright and early on Monday.